Time is speeding up. Chaos is shifting into a new level, and we feel the pull to unlock the mysteries of the universe. Timeless spiritual wisdom offers the point of stability to navigate these times and to open our greatest potential. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the fun and knowledge of visionary best-selling authors Shri and Kira as they explore these mysteries and invite your higher love to come forward. And now, here are Shri and Kira.
Namaste and welcome to Explore the Mysteries. I am wisdom teacher Shri Ramka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and welcome to an extraordinary moment. You know, this is a moment where we have the opportunity to not only really connect with our ascended heart, but we are in a moment of our crossed over linear time in this year of incredible spiral time ignition, where we right now have the opportunity to say yes to our ascended heart in ways we have never said before. And the week ahead, the moment right now that we are in is still that where we are living in the void. We are way out there going, I am here, I am ready, I am open. And very soon we're going to be diving into that high heart, which is where the ascended heart is sitting. And so what are you going to do with it? I'm just so excited about this moment.
Absolutely. And you know, it's an important time to remind you that our physical body and our physical universe is a representation of an energetic.
Exactly.
Energy is primary. Matter happens when that energy vibration is slowed down, but it still tries to conform to its original intent. Mm-hmm. So as we talk about the physical heart and the ascended heart, what we really are referring to is the physical heart, meaning the valve that pushes the blood around your body,
right,
versus the energy of the heart, mm-hmm, which inspires that physical heart to operate.
Yeah.
And we're going to unpack that further as we get rolling today. But
well, you know what I want to do, Shri, before we go any further, I want to talk about our background. Cool. I want, if you're watching us, because everything you just said. So this is, do you see this? This is a beautiful temple facade that we have found. You see all the intricate interweaving rocks and the way they're all carved. And this is literally what we're fairly confident was a facade around the top of the temple. And as you were sharing just now, what came to me was how perfect that we had. This is, Shri and I took this picture on Sunday, last Sunday, that this picture is behind us because this is that physical manifestation of the sacred energy in harmony with the way that this was cut. We're fairly confident all this was laser. It's almost it's very, very obvious, especially when you're here. And so I just felt that how perfect we had this background today and wanted to share that with all of you.
Absolutely.
Kind of connect that as we're moving into this topic.
Because the temple here at Tosa Blue Mountain is a temple of love.
Yeah.
However, the love is beyond our worldly vernacular of what love means.
Yeah.
Because love has been so misunderstood, and we can certainly thank some poets and Shakespeare's of our world that have helped the public mind move into what love is. However, love as the energetic of unity, of oneness, of the peace that supports creation.
Right.
Those are the qualities of that ascended energy.
Yeah.
And let's talk more about that, because love is worthy of our attention.
Well, it takes us into the heart. Remember that the greatest medicine that we have is our heart. And, you know, it brings me back to our beautiful Kanyardi temples here that are right here on site at Tosa Blue Mountain. Last Saturday, we were with our beloved, I'm calling them family now, our Kanyari family, and we were up in their beautiful world and welcomed into their home and welcomed out into their sacred protected lands. And the one thing that really was so overarching that day was the heart, was the love, was the medicine of the heart, the medicine journey of the heart. And this medicine journey of the heart is universal, and it transcends all experiences. And when we were standing at one of the most sacred sites in the Kanyar territory, at the top of this exquisite mountain with the wind, we were, 10,000 feet maybe. When we were doing that ceremony, the one thing that Alexander said, and all of us had tears in our eyes, was that we have different bodies of the same heart. And this is why this Kanyari energy, I'm confident that's why Shri and I wound up here, that this is our final resting place, right? That we're here. And that the Kanyari are still here, have survived all attempts of genocide, have survived everything because they have never lost their heart. They have stayed true to the heart. The sacred medicine for them, whether it's wachuma or cannabis or other forms of tobaccos or whatever we're working with, any forms of psilocybins, they're all sacred medicine. And these sacred medicines have one singular intention: heart. So that when they are used for anything less than that, the heart starts becoming out of harmony. Because the sacred medicine has been invited into a frequency that it was not meant for. Sacred medicine is about our heart, because through the ignition of the physical heart, through the releasing of the ego, which can only be done through the ascended heart, we are able to fully see the answers and comprehend the vastness of that which we are.
You know, one of the things that touches me each time we meet with these Kanyari lineage holders is that the energy they emanate is one of kindness and unconditional acceptance.
Generosity.
And generosity.
I mean, just generosity.
And so this energy of the heart that in worldly language is kindness and acceptance. Because that is the energy of the fifth dimensional compassion, is it
right?
not?
Right.
I am as you are. We can all exist here.
I think that's why we feel so comfortable with them.
Yep.
Because they're living in that fifth dimensional space, which is why so many don't understand them, and yet we absolutely understand each other.
Absolutely. And so this is a wonderful thing to be raising your children in this paradigm of kindness and acceptance, because it does help co-create a density experience that has greater harmony and greater reflection of the higher principles. The other thing that they bring forward so beautifully is the willingness to expand.
Yes.
And so here we have these qualities of kindness, acceptance, and willingness. And with that also comes the worldly side of, and I will set boundaries. We are going to protect our culture, our values, and our beliefs against those who would seek to impose their will upon us.
You know, just to give you an example, the beautiful mountain that we were on, and we'll be showing more video in all of our shows, but the mountain we were on, it had like what looked like craters, right? It, like when you're walking up the trail and there's like, they look like craters. Every one of them was someone trying to steal from the mountain.
They were digging holes.
They were grave robbing. They were
Yeah.
looking for the gold, and when they didn't find it, they would take the bodies and all of the other things and literally throw them. And that's why the trails are littered with broken shards of pottery and physical human remains, because that's how they were robbing. Yeah. And that's why they demanded their land be returned to them, and it was.
Yeah. And so you're looking at some pretty basic yet somewhat ascended human values of respect, honoring those who have gone before, kindness to all beings, and acceptance that there are many paths, many races, many bodies. All of these qualities are really foundational for living in harmony with Gaia.
Breathe that in,
with all creation.
Right?
And so we celebrate and respect that there is a culture on this planet that is holding dear those values of expansion and loving acceptance.
And that this beautiful culture is one that very few people have ever even heard of. And yet they have been holding it. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, although it took us about 18 years to wind up here, Shri and I wind up being the blessed custodians. And now we have more people living here full-time that are joining us in this custodianship, because this is a big project. This temple and protecting it from all those that would seek to harm it is a full-time process for us. And that is why the harmony of the ascended heart, the releasing of all limitations, is so important. Because if anyone would have talked to Shri and I back in 2002 when we first met and said, by the way, you're going to wind up living in Guatemala and Uruguay, and then you're going to wind up in Ecuador. Then you're going to discover a temple. Then you're going to become family of this beautiful, incredible indigenous group of beings. And then you're all going to bring that out to the world. We would have said, wow, and have never believed it. You know, it's that spirit keeps you on a need-to-know basis. So I do want to share, before we get back into the show, go, if you have not been, go to wwaglobal.com. Get into there. We still have room for you to come and be with us as part of the on-site experience. Remember, those of you that are going to be here on site, you get to kick the tires. You're here with these people. You're part of this. Lots of special ceremonies only for those that are going to be here on site. Although because of the documentary that's being filmed, we will be getting film of some of this. I just don't know how it will be let out there. And then in addition to that, you can, of course, join us from your living room. And please do. Yes. And it's affordable and just be there, support what's happening, because that's part of what we're doing right now is we're releasing limitations. And so everything that we're sharing with you today, we're going to talk about how to discern the energies of both the physical heart and the cosmic heart, because they're different.
Yeah.
They're really different. And we're going to talk about these 4 chambers of perfect balance. And then, of course, how we're birthing our cosmic, our ascended heart, and releasing all those limitations.
Well, and this material comes from a beautiful ensoulment from the 12 Steps to Ascension series, and this is from Message 9.
The Balanced Heart, which I just love. So as we normally do, as is customary, we're going to invite you to bring your hands to your heart, taking a nice deep Ave Saw breath while my beloved Sri Ramka offers us the blessing. And really close your eyes and receive, because Sri Ramka's presentation of sharing is also a gift that you can receive in other ways. Yeah. So let's relax into this.
So taking a centering breath, and now bringing an intentionality to the breath. Inhale, Ave, meaning I acknowledge the divine. And exhale, Sa, I have no resistance. I surrender to the divine. Inhale, Ave, Sa. And be present to this sharing. Let us discuss the energies of the heart. And there are many energies of the heart, are there not? Again, we begin with the physical. There is the physical heart that keeps the physical body in its ability to be. Your heart must beat for you to be. If the heart stops beating, no longer does the form exist. It is as simple as that. And so there is the densified form of the heart, which is a great gift and a miracle indeed. Is it any wonder that it has 4 chambers? 4 chambers that exist in perfect harmony, a reminder to you of balance of all aspects. And so, the physical heart beats. Then you ignite through the physical heart the recognition of what we would like to offer to you as the cosmic heart. For within the cosmic heart is the strands of energy, the profound book of wisdom, the recognition of alchemical process that is deep within thee. As the cosmic heart reawakens, it allows the physical heart to not have to work so hard, because until the cosmic heart births, it is held within the physical heart. This is why so many have a heart attack, to open the cosmic heart. Because the heart has carried this energy for so long that it is crying out and saying, relieve me of the burden of being more than one part. Allow me to simply support your physical expression in form, and that your soul may come forward and continue the cosmic energy that is now ready to birth within you. And so, as the cosmic heart births, it is not yet in perfect balance. It, in and of itself, has its own 4 chambers, surrounded by a blue jewel. And within the blue jewel is a golden seed. And deep within the golden seed is the integrous center.
Wow.
And as we feel the wisdom of this transmission, it may awaken in you some recognition.
Wow. Thank you, Sri.
Yes.
Thank you, Sri. I'm confident that all of you felt that as much as we did. This is the blessing of these ensoulments, is that for those that are listening, and if you're here during Explore the Mysteries, you're here not by accident. You're here because your soul is saying, I'm ready for more, and you know it. And this is what, in this ensoulment overall, as we go back, and we're going to talk about all of these amazing things that we're unpacking here, but what this ensoulment is really saying is, remember that as a master of the yoga of self-ascension, that is the moment where the divine and the body are one. That moment where the body is free to, and they also talked about the alchemical, right? You're free to remember you are the alchemical transformer and you have this ability. And Sri, what I'm just really, my mind is blown with, and I can hardly wait till tomorrow night, this past week's Monday Magic, it was all about the divine fragrance, right? And this fragrance of the divine breath. And one of the things that happened Monday night was part of this is literally retraining the nervous system to accept the vibrational harmonies that the cosmic heart holds open that ignite, you feel your hands even as I'm speaking, that ignite the alchemical, the symbols, the energies, everything within you. And on Monday night, we manifested rose fragrance, and so many have been saying, oh my God, I really smelt it. There came a moment where I felt my hands must have been covered in rose oil, literally felt that. And even as I'm doing that now, it's like it's activating again. Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to ShriandKira.com and get into Living an Ascended Life. It's our Monday Magic series. Just be there because all of this is coming together. Yes. And remember, I'm going to bring it right back to February. You know, here we are in February right now, where February begins the medicine journey of the heart, where we are claiming back the 5 medicines of our ascended presence. This is the moment because the 4 is that shield of Zadkiel. It's the cross of perfect balance. And the 5 is the jewel in the center. That's your consciousness. And that's where we're at right now. And so I think it brings us to that first question, because I love how they talked about this, which is, you know, okay, well, really, what is the difference between my physical heart and my heart center, or my, what? I don't get it. You know, what's the difference? My cosmic heart.
Yeah. Well, it's important to recognize, as these ascended masters shared with us, that your cosmic heart is dormant within the physical heart. And that as we begin to activate that through energy and consciousness,
there it is.
Meaning our energy lifts enough that our consciousness can recognize what's there. How many, you've heard the phrase, ignorance is bliss, you know? You know, it's a quality of bliss, perhaps.
It's an interesting phrase. Let's just go there.
But the lesson there is what you're not aware of doesn't bother you.
Right.
Okay. And so when we become more aware, we have the opportunity to discern that which we need to be mindful of. You know, we discern more. We have greater responsibility and greater capacity for beauty and joy, as well as perhaps being disturbed by things that are incongruent, meaning our palate has been refined.
Well, I think that's a really important thing to know. And, you know, Sri, as we look at this ensoulment, one of the things they talk about, and I want to bring this up because it really is part of these 5 bodies and the medicines that are being claimed right now, is that the first thing they say is, let us discuss the energies of the heart, plural. And then they come right in and say it. And there are many energies of the heart. Well, that's the first thing that's saying, pay attention. Because often we, in our densified experience, when our consciousness is kind of collapsed, we take our heart and there's only one energy. We're either happy or we're sad.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. We're happy, we're sad, we're either content or we're not. There's just this densified about, where am I making a choice? What's going on? And then I love how they say, so let's begin with the physical. Mm-hmm. And then they remind us that there is the physical heart that keeps the physical body in its ability to be. And so this is a direct reference to the medicine of the physical body.
Right.
And I think it begs the introduction of the quote from Archangel Zadkiel about that. And so as you're feeling this and as we're talking about it, and they're saying here, look, your heart has to beat for you to be very physical. Right. Very physical. So if your heart stops beating, well, then no longer does the form exist. It's as simple as that. The physical heart is all about the physical form. It has nothing to do with who you are. And this is the introduction of that. And I think it brings us to this beautiful quote.
Well, and I just want to add, the physical body is in service to who you are.
Exactly.
It is not your definition.
Woo! And it will receive the alchemical processes. And I know Shri and I are living proof that you can do this. And this is part of what we're going to be teaching in the I Am series that we're so excited about starting in April. This is a moment where it's time to really say yes to the ignition of the greater experience of you and to claim in those 5 bodies. And so let's hear what Archangel Zadkiel invites us to do.
All right, let's take a breath and be present to this sharing.
All right.
What if you chose to believe that everything in your world was perfect, as is, right now? What if you implicitly trusted your inner guidance system to produce the words and actions needed in any situation you found yourself? What if every moment was guided by the one who truly loved you?
So breathe that in, because in that quote, and I just want to go back to the very first sentence, which is, what if you chose? And this is a month of choice, by the way, if you're catching us in February. And if you're not, we always timestamp in. So take this moment and make a choice. So what if you chose to believe, meaning that you're saying yes to you? Because what you believe, your perceptions are the realities, right? So what if you chose to say yes to you? What if you chose to believe that everything, there's no limitation on that. There's no everything, asterisk, see exceptions. No, everything in your world was perfect as it is right now. What I can share with you is that what Shri and I know is it changes everything. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't mitigate it. It doesn't mean it doesn't have its own sense of balance that will restore it. What it's saying is, what if you chose to just see that everything's in perfection right now? Even though you're walking through something that you might feel is really scary or really horrific or unjustified, that is that third dimensional piece of that heart, that emotional heart, right? That's that medicine in the physical body. But what if you could be loving yourself enough through that the fifth dimensional compassionate you can have your arms around the you that's afraid or feeling hurt or angry? What if your fifth dimensional self can just wrap its arm around you right now and say, I know you're hurting, and you know this is in divine order. So now let's walk through this. You don't have to stay in it. You don't have to be in it one breath longer than the moment you make the choice to walk through it.
Right.
To see why it's there. And you already know how it's in that beautiful blue jewel golden seed. And we're going to be talking more about that.
You know, there's many paradoxes in our life. We can have experiences, that we can be in the middle of something that is truly unpleasant.
Right.
And so it's kind of hard when something's unpleasant to say this is imperfection. What it's asking you to do is let go of your mental barriers that are judging it.
Yep.
And to notice the perfection while also gaining the discernment that you don't need to reinsert yourself in that kind of a situation again.
Feel that.
So the part of the perfection is the cultivation of the discernment and fine-tuning, honing your ability to choose and empowering your ability to act. We are not victims of circumstances, yet we can feel at times overwhelmed by circumstances.
And that's so true, isn't it? I mean, that's just so true. And so let's talk about that, because in many respects, it also kind of bridges this physical cosmic heart and the four chambers conversation. So let's talk about that as well, because I think that that's really important to address in this moment. And so I want to go back to the ensoulment. Yep. All right. And right here in the ensoulment, they say, look, there's the densified form of the heart. That's the one that has physical tissue, that has matter as comprised of in the form that is housing the you that is, right? And it says, so it's a great gift, and it is. And as they say, a miracle indeed. Is it any wonder that it has four chambers? Well, the first thing before we go any further that I just want to share is that is because it's the cross of perfect balance this is the two infinity symbols. This is the infinite with the infinite. They are the cross of perfect balance as the two infinite energies. And in the center is that jewel, which is your consciousness. And so is it any wonder that it has the four chambers, that this spinning cosmic energy went into this beautiful formed energy saying, don't worry, we're all here. Yeah. We're all here.
And there's a powerful lesson resident in the design of this beautiful heart.
Yeah.
And just in the most simple terms, we are receiving fresh oxygen and other energies on the breath. Mm-hmm. So when our heart beats, one of the beats is I'm receiving oxygenated, revitalized energy for my blood. And then on the other beat, I am sending that to my tissues. Mm-hmm. So consider the metaphor at work here. The spiritual principle is that there is no giving without receiving. They are connected by your heartbeat.
Imagine that, right?
And so many people get in a pattern of giving on empty, a pattern of setting themselves last, which then creates an imbalance, which then creates all forms of pain and discomfort. Yeah. And so right there in the whole design, I give and I receive with every heartbeat.
I love that. And because this is Avesa, right? This is why, what is Avesa? It is what takes that beautiful heartbeat, right? When you really feel your heartbeat, touch your neck, whatever, really feel in touch with your heartbeat. When you feel the beat, Ave, Ave. And it's the conscious breath brought into the body of form through the energy of the Avesa that sings to the four-chambered heart that it is safe to experience and ignite the cosmic presence, the ascended being, the divine galactic blueprint. And this is the beauty of the Avesa, is that when we breathe in through the nose, because remember, we have to activate with the breath. So we send the conscious breath in through the nose with the Ave, and then we offer the long Sa. The heart is getting reassurance that reinforcements are here. Great. And so it really helps sustain, and that energy comes from love. Shri and I were having a little conversation about this the other day, but love is something that I just want to share. When I watched, people were talking about the new president of the United States, Joe Biden, being 78 years old. And the little bit that I witnessed of him, I saw a man who honestly loves his family. Mm-hmm. And I saw a husband and wife like Shri and I that honestly love each other. And that because of that, he'll live to 100, and so will she. This is that magic key. This is why the energies of the physical heart and the cosmic heart are so important. Yeah. When you and I got together, your sleep apnea, that's a very famous story you may know by now, but love is the ultimate healer outside of the physical understanding and manifestation of love. It has to come in at the higher level. And this is why these two heart balanced energies are so important.
Well, and there's one other ingredient here, which is an aspect of love, and that is service.
There it is.
Your body exists in service to the soul.
Exactly.
Your existence here in this shared lovely world of density is in service to the creation, to all that is.
Yeah.
And we each have different aspects and ways in which we serve. And so, going back to the example of Joe Biden in the United States, at his age and his career, I'm just guessing, he had no need to be president. He had nothing to prove. There was a calling forward that said, I want to serve.
I want to culminate my life doing
something to bring greater harmony and balance and soul and love to this country.
Yeah, those words are actually being used again.
You're
hearing love and soul being used.
And so what I observe is a sincerity of service, not an egoic need to, get a star on your shoulder or whatever it might be.
No comment.
And so the reason we point this out is that service, sacred union, whether with a partner or with yourself. Service, sacred union, and an honoring of creation, meaning honor each other.
Exactly.
Creates a higher order of harmony, and that we can not only survive, we can thrive. We can be inspired to continue being here rather than getting tired of life.
Right? Right? I mean, this is that moment, is it not? And this is why you're here. And I really, really, with all my heart, trust that you're with us on Sundays as well, earlier in the day at noon Pacific time, where you can interact with Shri and I live over at YouTube, official Shri and Kira. And we do encourage you to get over there anyway and subscribe. A lot going on over there and a lot happening every Sunday on Explore the Mysteries along with that show. And then make sure you dive in and check out Tuesday nights where I get the opportunity to champion the Divine Feminine over at Soul Mirrors, an extraordinary show that really invites us to go deeper into what's reflecting. And so as we continue, Shri, I want to read what it says here. 4 chambers that exist in perfect harmony. And then here's what's really fascinating. A reminder to you of balance of all aspects.
Yes.
Literally saying, look, these chambers of the heart, north, south, east, west, whatever you want them to be, if they're not in harmony, the whole system crashes.
Well, and there's so many beautiful metaphors here.
Right?
And a metaphor is a representation of a truth, is it not?
Exactly.
Of an energy.
Right.
So you have these 4 chambers. So the physical heart, it must receive the blood that is asking for renewal.
Think about that. Tired blood and goes, I'm home. And it's like, okay, honey, go over here. Right?
It's showing I am willing to receive or be in service to that which is tired and needing regeneration.
Right? I am of service to that.
And then, of course, it's in cooperation with the lungs. It's sending the blood up for that exchange of releasing certain artifacts of metabolism and being regenerated.
So think about the connection with the breath, right?
So the breath is now carrying the capacity to also receive what must be expelled and give what is vital. So the breath, the lungs are mirroring this very aspect of giving and receiving.
Yeah, so incredible.
And giving and receiving is probably one of the most fundamental lessons to bring to consciousness while in form.
I have to say, not only is that so important, it's also why Shri and I were called. This coming Saturday, the 13th, be with all of us. Be with the community that is gathering to champion the rebirth of Ave Sa on the planet.
Yes.
What we're teaching in February, whether you do anything else with us or not, be there in February. And then if you decide you want to do the rest, you can get a credit and go forward. But be there in February, because the birth of the Ave Sa energy, what you are going to learn, you will not only be really, I'm listening to you talk about the heart, and I'm feeling the Ave Sa and that regeneration and that vitality. And I know that that's why you and I are still alive, and that why we're able to do what we're doing, and the vitality that we're blessed to have. And as that Ave Sa energy bursts and you learn the balancing technique, whether you're just receiving it, whether you're being in that balance, living in that state of the ascended chakras, the self-ascended chakras, makes it so much easier to navigate this time, because you're constantly holding the presence that keeps that cross of perfect balance, which is those interlocking infinity symbols, at your ascended cosmic heart center. And so this is powerful because when you do that, and I love how they say this, as the physical heart beats, you ignite through the physical heart the recognition. That's because of the Ave Sa breath. When you breathe in, it ignites. And then you're able to be part of these strands of energy and be back connected with this profound book of wisdom and claim these alchemical processes back into your cellular structure.
And so the process is one of transcendence or ascension.
Exactly.
And so consider the value of your life is that we begin to operate at a very physical level and emotional level. And so emotional love initially is about feeling safe and giving and receiving with each other. But emotional love also brings in the mind of judgment.
There it is.
Okay, versus now once we gain a little familiarity with that, we can lift, we can ascend into a higher order of love, which begins to suspend judgment and allow for something more to be revealed. It's as if you say, I don't know how and why you're different, but I'm willing to accept that you're here and you have a right to your differences, kind of thing. You know, it begins with this quality of acceptance, which is a respect for creation. I mean, all creation carries with it the spark and the energy of the divine, does it not? And who are we to say, no, this part doesn't get to exist and this part does? We consider that for a moment. And so the lessons here, and this is why they are sharing that as we open the cosmic heart, we actually offer relief to the physical heart.
Exactly.
This is because we're refining our way of being. We're not burdening our physical heart with the spiritual work. We are in a place of going, my physical heart is a way I love my body.
There it is. Woohoo!
And my heart beats because I am giving and receiving love at this level of the physical.
And can I jump in and say, I will share with you that the more you love your body, for example, I work out every day. My resting heartbeat is in the very low 60s. Imagine how much less my heart is getting from me the signal that says, you can take a break. I've got this. I'm here. You don't have to beat so fast to sustain me. And I think that's important to pay attention to, that, your heart health is important, because the more that we love this four-chambered heart, the greater the vitality, the easier the Ave Sa breath, the quicker the lift, and the faster the consciousness expands.
Well, and so let's learn from where the pains come in.
Exactly.
So many beings are in denial of their essential spiritual nature, and that they can get in a pattern of working hard, whether it's working for money or working to be the provider in your family or whatever it might be. But they deny an aspect of themselves. And what often happens, it could be the tricuspid valve of the heart that's just saying, I can't receive anymore. I can't bring in that fresh oxygenated blood, or some other form of congestion of the blood, which results in a heart attack. So consider the gift of that. A heart attack is showing you what area of your spiritual ecology is wanting more consciousness and love. A heart attack is saying, take a time out from the pattern that resulted in this congestion.
Your four chambers are out of balance.
Exactly.
And it goes back to the ensoulment, right? Because as the cosmic heart, and I'm reading right from the ensoulment, as the cosmic heart reawakens, it allows the physical heart to not have to work so hard. It's like being on the treadmill, right? Just by awakening your cosmic presence, your physical heart relaxes. And so this is when the cosmic heart births, it is held within the physical heart. And as Sri was just talking about, the heart attack, right? Because the heart has carried this energy for so long, it's crying out saying, relieve me of the burden.
Yeah.
right? That's really what it's saying. Let me just support your physical expression. Could you please come retrieve all your wisdom in this jewel, please? Well, that's really what it's saying.
And when we grow emotionally and spiritually, we come into a more balanced relationship with all life, and the heart isn't trying to overcompensate for your emotional orientation or your limiting beliefs about deservability, for example.
There's a whole show.
Yeah.
Right? There's a whole show, and we know that. We know that, don't we?
And so it's a fascinating experience. The more we become conscious, the more we recognize the interplay of these energies at emotional and spiritual levels with the physical. And this is one of the fundamental values of the evasive medical intuitive teaching and paradigm, is it begins to unlock the layers, not only so that you can be more wise and balanced in your life, but that you might stand as a mentor and assist others to do the same.
Exactly, because this is that moment. And I was thinking, Sri, I know a lot of people are thinking right now, well, how can I bring my heart into balance? If my heart is out of balance, how can I bring it in? First thing, Ave Sa breath, hand to heart. Remember that the simplest, fastest, immediate thing is hand to heart. The minute you bring your hands to your heart, you are sending reassurance, because it is an action that was a conscious effort to say, I get it, you're hurting. I get it, we're out of balance. Hand to heart, reassurance. Then you breathe deeply in the Ave, which is the hail, right? You're hearing that, and I connect with the heartbeat first. So really breathe it in as the Ave, Ave, right? So breathing in the Ave, exhaling a deep sigh. And you smile, because when you smile after the breath, you send a signal to the soul, to the universe, to the body that says, I get it.
Yeah.
The master is now here. We take our breathing so seriously, and we take all of our meditation so seriously that we forget to smile. It is the smile that illuminates everything. And so how do you bring your heart into balance? By, first of all, recognizing you're out of balance.
Yes.
Right? Reassurance, deep breath, Ave, Sa, and a smile. And then go find somebody who's an evasive practitioner and get an evasive balancing. And better yet, join us right now, this Saturday it begins. Learn the process just even for yourself. Learn how to offer it to others. Become a teacher. Yeah. We're looking for people to lead. Give yourself the blessing.
It's really precious how life gives us these teachings, that the levels of our being, and that these medicine journeys that take us from the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, that what the universal quality of these journeys is the love energy.
Yes.
That is this, in the seed of our being, is the love of the divine that was infused in our very creation, that is then rippling out as to the love of all of our creations and miscreations. And now
balance, that's
now
balance.
We can move beyond the judgment that some creations are miscreations, because that reveals a point of view. That's where you're intersecting with it. And we can learn over time to live and lift into the non-judgment space, what we would refer to as seventh dimensional energy, in fact, of being at peace with all. And this brings us back to Archangel Zadkiel's sharing from early. What if you chose to believe that everything was in perfection?
As it is.
As is, right
now. What if you chose to believe that?
Try that on.
It is an amazing self-experiment. It really, really is. And so, one of the things we just want to share a little bit more about today is, how do you access all this wisdom? How do you access all this knowledge of your sacred heart? Well, one of the ways you can do it is to begin with something as simple as the mantra of self-ascension. And so let's remind you of those 4 lines. Shri, would you remind us of that?
Absolutely. And all things spiritual and all things healing are best done with a hand on heart, at least to begin the practice. So let's begin with a breath, and then think along with me as I share the mantra of self-ascension. I am here.
I am here.
I am ready.
I am ready.
I am open.
I am open.
Guide me.
Guide me.
These 4 declarations will cut through the lower frequency static that is often in our world of experience. It'll cut through the static of emotions and physical situations and bring you into a centered place of being where you can trust the master within to guide you forward.
How beautiful. How beautiful is that? That's the gift. That's the moment when that beautiful heart, as that cross of perfect balance spinning in its divine infinite presence, invites the consciousness, invites the illuminated presence of you to expand, to become the master in form. This is the harmony of the ascended heart. The harmony of the ascended heart is when you are no longer even focusing on the balance, because the master energy has illuminated. The alchemical transitions are happening. The law of instantaneous manifestation arises. It cannot happen in the world of the third dimension. And yet it is so effortlessly happening when we simply anchor our fifth dimensional presence and beyond with full conscious awareness of all of our third dimensional experience. It is not easy to do, because it's saying you have to give yourself the gift of relaxing through your own limitations. And that is where the heart comes to the rescue again. Because when we are able to ignite those 4 chambers in perfect balance, when we are able to breathe the Ave Sa breath, then the ascended heart comes forward and the limitations disappear. It's just such a beautiful moment of saying yes to the self, yes to you.
Yeah, and consider for a moment how solutions to challenges, solutions to discomforts, often arise spontaneously when we let go of the need to fix them and instead relax into our being in whatever way has worked for you. Sometimes we can relax into our being by just taking a time out. Sometimes we can use the mantra of self-ascension. We can use our breath.
Right, Ave Sa.
We can do it, another spiritual practice that has meaning for you. The key is we're relaxing into what we would call a higher state of consciousness or a more connected state of being. And then that energy seems to magically dissolve the discomfort, because the discomfort was created from a limited point of view, a limitation in consciousness, an undisclosed agenda perhaps. And as we relax into our ascended frequencies, and believe me, there's plenty of room to grow, it's
truly mind-blowing,
as we
literally.
Practice that, these situations seem to resolve themselves either automatically or the way to engage them shifts. And this is so simple yet so powerful. I'm reminded of Gandhi. One of the quotes I love from Mahatma Gandhi was, I have a very busy day today, so much on my day timer, I'll have to meditate more.
Twice as long, I believe is what he said. I'll have to meditate twice as long. And here's what I love about that, because what Gandhi's really saying is that when I take everything I need to do into my divine presence to resolve, I might take twice as long in meditation, but when I come out, I will have all the resolutions.
Yes.
It's an active meditation, calling forward active mastery, and often misunderstood, that quote. So I'm really glad you brought that one in.
Well, and the other thing that wasn't said overtly is it's bringing forth quantum time.
Exactly. And this is where we are right now. We are sitting in that 0-point generator of an incredible torus field. You're either aware of it or you're not. But if you're aware of it, and you are, or you wouldn't be tuning in, then your cosmic heart is already ignited. And your divine galactic blueprint is soaring. And go learn more. Join us often. Get to ShriandKira.com, where you can listen and learn about everything we've talked to today. Tons of amazing things over there. And make sure you get to WWAglobal.com and join us for the virtual summit, or join us here at Tosa Blue Mountain. You get to kick the tires in this temple.
Well,
and
I'm really excited about
I
this.
am too.
I want to
I
speak
wanna
to it
hear
in a moment. Okay, well, first
I
off,
just have to go,
enjoy,
is that the
enjoy the
best?
beautiful rocks. I can't,
I
the
know.
walls are in the way. I can't move over.
Yeah, it's okay. But I mean, is this crazy beautiful? I mean, look at this.
Well, and you look at how
Wow,
they're
right?
sculpted and fit together.
Yeah. No, this was a facade, and this right here too is actually a nice middle carving kind of area. Go ahead, Sri.
Well, the WWA Global is an opportunity for all of us to activate, affirm, and further energize the divine feminine energy, which is woven into all creation and all genders. Mm-hmm. And that divine feminine is the crucible of creation that allows the divine masculine to perform and to get out there and go and do what it does. And it is inseparable from your existence. The question is, back to today's show or the theme, are you experiencing balance between the masculine energies and the feminine energies? And to bring the divine feminine forward, to champion it, will help you discern what is the balance that I truly seek? Yeah. Where is the harmony in my life that supports my sacred intention for being?
Wow.
So this gathering that's coming up on the equinox carries with it layers of healing potential for everybody who's participating.
Yeah.
And that the WWA Global is about harmony and unification at many levels, including the much talked about and powerful symbology of the eagle and the condor. And consider the unifying energy there is that which was separated is reuniting.
It's a powerful moment. And so give yourself the gift of checking it out, right?
Absolutely. wwaglobal.com. Take a look, because there's something there for you.
Absolutely.
To expand you.
We are so excited. And for those of you that are walking the medicine journey with us this year, remember that some of those workshops at WWA Global are already part of your journey. So make sure you register for the rest. We love you. You are so ascending your heart right now. Feel those 4 chambers in harmony. Feel that beautiful cross in perfect balance, spinning with infinite presence, and know that the law of instantaneous manifestation is yours to command.
Big breath of joy. See you next week.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.